Hey, what's going on, everybody? Chris Meany here of FTN with a few StatHero picks to consider for this evening. A handful of games around the diamond and lots of action over at StatHero.com. If you're unfamiliar with StatHero, a link inside the description of this video. How to play. It's very simple, as you see here. Promo code FTN if you are indeed a first-time user. 3-time deposit match bonus on your first DFS sportsbook play up to $300. It's pretty good. And as you see there, you versus the house. It really is just you against StatHero. FTN Nation against StatHero. We all have the same goal in mind, to win money from StatHero. We have free StatHero content over at ftndaily.com. Click the chat link up at the top. It'll get you in our free StatHero Discord channel where, again, we just have one goal in mind, and it's to take down StatHero. No secrets. Don't have to worry about ownership. It's just your lineup against their lineup, and they have several listed over at StatHero.com. So I have a few plays here that I like. Really just 3 or 4 teams that I'm interested in here today. You can stack maybe 2 guys on one team, 2 and 2, and maybe a 1. You can go 3 versus 3, 4 versus 4, or 5 versus 5 with a captain in there and some flex options. So here's what I'm thinking tonight. I'm interested in the Philadelphia Phillies against Patrick Corbin. Patrick Corbin hasn't been great at all this season. He's given up a lot of contact. He's not striking out a lot of guys. The velocity it's just been down this year compared to years prior, and he's given up a lot of home runs, and he comes into this start not in good shape. At least 7 hits allowed in 4 of his past 5 games. He's allowed 10 bombs in his last 7 games. He just played the Phillies, allowed 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 homers in 5 innings. So I'm looking at Rhys Hoskins. He's 9-9. He's got 9 bombs against lefties this season. He's got 11 doubles, a 396 WOBA, 311 ISO, and 49% fly ball rate. So the averages may not be there with Hoskins, but the power certainly is. Bryce Harper, I don't care about the lefty-on-lefty matchup, 9-4. He's obviously one of the better hitters in baseball against right-handed pitching, but I'm interested in him as well. I'd probably rank him Hoskins, JT Realmuto, Harper, and then Gene Segura's 8-7. But Realmuto is bringing a hot bat as well. He just had 5 RBIs the other day, like a 5-hit game, 9 for 3. He's coming up clutch for the Phillies over the past week or so. I just think that they continue to roll here. They have a 4.5 team applied total, 4.6 actually. It's not one of the highest on the board. It is inside the top 6, but a good spot here against Patrick Corbin. And then the Jays against Zach Plesac. Plesac has control. He doesn't walk a lot of guys, but he also doesn't strike out a lot of guys. He's got a 77% contact rate and 5K per 9. He's allowed 14 homers on the season and at least 1 in 7 straight games, 10 over that span. The Jays, number 1 average in baseball against righties, 120 home runs against right-hand pitching, number 1 in WOBA, 338, number 1 in OPS, 2nd in WRC+, and 2nd in ISO. A ton of power up and down that lineup, led by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's 10-2. He's expensive, but he would be my captain tonight. That's the guy that would put in a lot of my lineups. He leads the way over anybody in majors in terms of home runs against righties, slashing 349, 425, 722, a 1.146 OPS. That leads the way. His ISO leads the way, 373, 472 WOBA, and 203 WRC+. You guessed it, leads the way against right-handed pitching. So Vlad is in there, and George Springer is swinging a really hot bat. Absolutely. He's back now after being on the IL a couple times, leading off for the Jays. Him and Marcus Semien, they made that switch. They wanted a veteran bat in that 3 spot to protect Vlad, and they got it with Semien. And George Springer is just, he's been so good as a leadoff guy over the past few years, and he's just in his groove. 8 homers on the season against right-handed pitching. His last 2 weeks hitting 333, 5 homers, and 13 runs scored. Teoscar Hernandez is definitely in play at 9-3. 9 of his 16 homers have been against right-handed pitching. And then Marcus Semien, who I alluded to earlier, 18 of his 25 bombs this season have been against right-handed pitching. He's 9-3, hitting 279, hits in 8 of his past 9 games, and a lot of multi-hit games in there as well. So if Springer's getting on base and Vlad's getting on base, it's a good opportunity here for Marcus Semien or Teoscar Hernandez to drive in a couple. Really like the Jays against Zach Plesac tonight. The wind's blowing out at Rogers Center. And a couple other stacks on the way out here. I like the White Sox against Chris Bubic. The White Sox do have one of the highest team implied totals. They're a really good team against lefties. Eloy Jimenez is back in the lineup for the White Sox here this evening. He's going to hit in the 4 spot. Tim Anderson up at the top. I'm okay with that one. I think he's overpriced a little bit on StatHero, but Jose Abreu is in there as well. So those 3 guys I'd be looking at if you wanted a 4th, a little bit cheaper. Andrew Vaughn, he's really cheap. You could save a little bit of cash over at StatHero. And then the Red Sox, I'm interested in against Willie Peralta. Now, Boston has cooled off lately. They lost 4 straight, first time all year. They had the day off here, so maybe they get it together. JD Martinez hasn't been all that good of late, but those are the guys here, JD, Verdugo, and Devers. Devers is priced up really high, but he's inside the top 10 in terms of WOBA, ISO, and average against right-handed pitching. And Willie Peralta, who has been decent, surprisingly good for the Tigers over the past month, here and there, potential just to blow up at any moment. So I would rank the stacks, even though I started with the Phillies, Jays, Philadelphia, White Sox, and Boston. That's where I'm going here tonight. That's where I think a lot of my offense, or where a lot of the offense is going to come. And I noticed StatHero is going in on the Colorado Rockies. Of course, they're playing at home. Maybe a trap. It doesn't look the Rockies are as good as even playing at home. I know their numbers on the road are the worst in the league, and there's a big difference between home and away. But I'm not totally interested in the Rockies here tonight. So don't be afraid to jump in some contests where they have Colorado in some of their lineups. But that's where I'm going. I think Vlad is your guy here tonight, followed by Rhys Hoskins and Marcus Semien, George Springer. And then if he can get in Rafael Devers, if he can fit him in, you'll be well on your way. Good luck. Any questions, don't be afraid to hit me up at Chris Meany. Have some fun with StatHero. A lot of the guys at FTN have had a lot of success here. So if you jump inside our free StatHero Discord channel, you can tag any one of us if you have any questions about the game. Again, a how-to video, the link inside the description of this video. Let's take down StatHero together and win some cash. And again, any questions, hit me up. I'll circle back before first pitch here on this YouTube video. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.